England stay on course, but Ukraine unity was real star on show in Wroclaw. England did their best to throw a bucket of icy water over a remarkable show of emotion and unity inside Wroclaw's Arena. But a lifeless, dreary, and conservative display never stood a chance of overshadowing a truly special occasion. Gareth Southgate's side remain locked on course to reach Euro 2024 in Germany with 4 wins and this 1-1 draw from their first 5 qualifiers. A point away from home in an awkward environment is not to be dismissed lightly. What also cannot be dismissed is the lack of creativity, urgency and energy that required them to come from behind after Oleksandr Zinchenko's opening goal. For Ukraine had a thunderous roar and outpouring of joy sweeping around this bowl of a stadium. Harry Kane's flash of brilliance conjured up Kyle Walker's equalizer just before halftime. The 33-year-old Manchester City defender scoring his first England goal on his 77th appearance. After that, it was a slog to break down the resolute Ukraine defense. Bukayo Saka coming closest when his rising shot was touched onto the bar by keeper Georgi Bushin. After the break, the spoils were shared while Ukraine's players and fans reveled in this unique atmosphere. With dull England, too many passes and not enough chances, doing nothing to spoil the mood. Ukraine 1-1 England. Read Phil McNulty's match report. Attack didn't quite click. Southgate relived the action and reaction from England's draw with Ukraine Football Daily. Ukraine and England's winning streak, more questions than answers over Southgate's selections. Southgate persisted with Jordan Henderson in midfield, despite the 33-year-old leaving the Premier League and Liverpool for the riches of the Saudi Pro League with Al Ettifaq. And even though the manager's starting lineup contained creative midfielders in the shape of Jude Bellingham and James Maddison, there was little of that commodity on offer. Henderson certainly produced nothing to suggest his continued presence in England's starting lineup will not remain a bone of contention. Manchester United's Harry Maguire did very little wrong in defense, but the longer he goes without consistent game time at Old Trafford, the more those growing questions about his place in the national team and the validity of Southgate's continued loyalty will be asked. England dominated possession, but did so little with it that by the time the final whistle sounded, they had no compelling case to claim they deserved victory. Outcome plays second fiddle to emotional occasion in the overall context. Both Ukraine and England will be satisfied with a point, as this was a warm night in Wroclaw that rose above matters of sport and qualification for Germany next summer. Ukrainian supporters packed into the stadium 950 kilometers from their capital in Kyiv, arriving in their thousands hours before kickoff to give this qualifier a truly home feel. Even if it was taking place on foreign soil, they were whipped into a noisy frenzy in the hour before kickoff by the enthusiastic cheerleading of the pitch announcer, with banners inside the stadium bearing slogans of support reading, "Wars aren't stopped. Wars are won, and army of heroes." Ukraine's players took to the field draped in their national flag, and many supporters were close to tears during the rendition of the country's anthem. When the action started, the volume was deafening every time Ukraine even got into England's half, but reached another level when Zinchenko put them ahead. After 26 minutes, England responded with that Walker equalizer, Kane confirming his status as the complete player by dropping back to near the halfway line before showing outstanding vision and range of passing to pick out the marauding full-back behind Ukraine's defense. Walker showed a clear head in an unfamiliar situation to finish tiddly. As Ukraine dug deep for their point, the noise levels rose. Again, the entire stadium illuminated by phone torches. When the point was secured, it was followed by a demonstration of communion between players and fans that provided a truly special moment. Ukraine's yellow and blue flags were waved throughout. This was a truly spectacular piece of theater that stretched beyond sport. Conservatism creeps in again for 3 Lions in contrast. England provided only one special moment, and certainly not enough to banish the old accusations that manager and players are gripped by conservatism on far too many occasions than is good for them. Henderson was given the full game. Bellingham surprisingly taken off despite England searching in vain for the sort of X-factor moment he can provide. They were restricted to half chances. There was no sense of panic in Ukraine's defense because England were unable to maintain anything that could be described as sustained pressure. England were sterile and disappointing. seemingly playing with the handbrake on. Although Southgate will have every right to state that while this is a bump in the road, they are still firmly fixed on a route to take them to Germany next summer, this England team. And these England players, including some of the most highly regarded young talent in the game, will surely know they are capable of much better than this. Next stop Glasgow and resurgent Scotland on Tuesday. Forget the word friendly, it will not exist. At Hampden Park and Steve Clarke's home side might just fancy their chances for Ukraine. Meanwhile, this was a night in Wroclaw that was about much more than just football. They had every right to their celebrations. Car horns sounding outside this temporary home as those in blue and yellow headed off into the night.